Hey, what's up guys, Brad here. So today we're talking about Condition Assault, the newest TCG core booster set, and yes, we are about 2 weeks late on this one. I do apologise. I was meant to get this out on the day it came out, but things happen. You know, we had the Shadow video go out like the same day the set dropped, so was kind of focused on that being the main priority for the channel, but we do have the usual what cards from the new box could or should come to Duel Links, and this one's kind of interesting because this set has a ton of cards that we would have confirmed coming to Duel Links in February, and also has a ton of new archetypes, which makes the whole discussion of this video a bit different from previous ones. Let's dive right in, check this out, and yeah, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, hit subscribe, that kind of thing, and yeah, let's dive right in. So first up from this set, already confirmed to be releasing in Duel Links, we have Shiny Black Sea Squatter, that's coming in the Weevil Roaming event at the end of the month. And we also have Disposable Learn Device, which came via the DSD Joey event, which actually dropped a week before the set came out in TCG. So another example, like the Super Heavy Samurais, of something coming to Duel Links before its TCG implementation, which again could be something that I might discuss in a future video that could be very, very cool if that's something they continue to do going forward in a couple of months. So that's kind of neat. Now, as I said, we have two big archetypes that were introduced in this set, and those are the Megalith and the Ancient Warriors, or the Senkas. So, Megaliths are a ritual-focused deck that basically circumvents the use of ritual spell cards. All the monsters can be ritual spells, which is a very interesting way of going about it, but it does mean that it locks you out of using things like pre-preparation of rites, or some of the skills within Duel Links to then get ritual spells to your hand. So, it feels like an archetype that might be good for Duel Links, but not in a traditional way when you think of ritual decks, so be wary of that. And then with the Ancient Warriors, which kind of remind me of a mix between Six Samurais and For Hires, in that they have a lot of deck synergy like the For Hires, and also have ways to pop monster effects and spells and traps and all that, and they do have a Dynalock style card in their arsenal, so again it kind of reminds me of Dyna For Hire, so maybe we'll see those, maybe not, I don't know, but there'll be two archetypes that I think come to Duel Links, especially considering that those are the ones that don't have any real attachment to the Vrains anime, to Link monsters or whatever, so they're most likely. Also, we got new support for Karakuri, which, yeah, I'm going to throw up the new synchro on the screen right now because I haven't played Karakuri in Duel Links ever, really. It wasn't a deck that, you know, kind of sparked my interest, but I feel like it may be possible to come. Let me know what you think, because again, that's a deck that I have no idea about, so I'm not too sure how easy it is to get off its playstyle, but could be interesting to get more Karakuri support. I think people would like that, given that Karakuri were a pretty expensive deck from what I remember, so yeah, giving them more support would be quite nice to see. So now onto the standalone cards I think could come to the game. First up is Fiendish Portrait, a trap card, target one face of monster opponent controls, special one monster with that name from your deck or extra deck, but shuffle it back into the deck during the end phase of the next turn. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the deck or extra deck for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, so you could use it during your opponent's turn and get a monster out on your field during your turn. This would be kind of useful in Dark Magician, but really it's only good in the mirror match, which, if Duel Links ever got to the point where a meta was so lopsided towards one single deck, this card would be pretty good. Like Dark Magician, you know, if your opponent has someone on the field, you just special summon Dark Magician from your deck, you get a banish off, banish their Dark Magician, like, you can see where this would see some play, and it's a very cool trap card. Of course, it does go back to the extra deck. It does then have a bit of a big restriction in that you can't special summon monsters from the deck or extra deck, which I think that's a big enough restriction for you to be able to use this card and to not have it be so overpowered. So maybe this card via an event reward, like a one-of or something, just to make sure it doesn't go too crazy in one direction, but again, it won't be good unless we have a meta where it's so lopsided towards one deck, or you're playing a deck that doesn't rely on the extra deck. Like Dark Magician doesn't really rely on the extra deck. You could run it without Timaeus and still be fine, but you could run this and splash in the invoked cards or like a Black Rose or anything into your extra deck, and then just summon out any of those monsters for free and get their effects off. So honestly, that might make it too good, who knows. Then we have another trap card, Mutually Assured Destruction. This again has the Pickaroo monsters on it, which are in Duel Links. Both players must keep their hands revealed this turn. While the hands are revealed by this effect, they both have a card with the same name in their hands. Neither player can activate cards with that name or their effect. So again, it does help the mirror match vibes, you know? Is a card that in the mirror match would be quite good, because it means that every time, say your opponent has a card in their hand and you do as well, you can lock your opponent out of their plays. And this only stays on the field for 1 turn, so this does just kind of, in a mirror match, shut your opponent down from making any plays. You could sit there and do your opening turn, set a couple cards face down, activate this, and have your hand be like a Magician's Rod, a Circle, and Navigation, and they could not do anything with their deck, basically. So, again, a very cheesy card, a card that, you know, is very good in the mirror match, or for just in general, if like, say we got Ash Blossom in the game or something that would be a staple of in every deck, this would get around using that. So, could be kind of nice, I don't know. Then we have Kuchiki Recurse. Send one level 9 monster from your hand or face up on the field to graveyard to draw 2 cards. Hard once per turn. This is basically a trade-in for level 9s, and I feel like it's fine because there aren't many level 9 monsters in Duel Links or even in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the TCGs. So I feel like the use case of this card is very, very limited, but for the decks that could use this, this would be a big consistency boost for that deck. So, honestly, I think this card is fine to come to Duel Links. Draw 2 is pretty powerful, but again, level 9s, far and few between, so it might be okay. Now moving on to the monster, we have Battle Survivor, a level 4 Earth Warrior. At the end of the battle phase, you can add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand except itself that was sent there. During this battle phase, hard once per turn effect. This is not that great, but reminds me of Vampire Hunter in a way that it's kind of generic, it's kind of got a use, but it could just be a ranked reward and they could splash in there and call it a day and could see some play in some really weird deck that maybe you want to get back a Econ or a Treacherous Trap Hole or something. This could be a good way to recycle those cards. In that case, this might be a very, very good Super Egg worthy candidate of a card. It is generic, it does support Joey's new skill to buff all level 4s by 200, so it can work in that way. So this could be a pretty good card in Duel Links, I think, for some certain decks that maybe are in the lower tiers, like maybe this recycles like a Power of the Guardians or something like that. Like, you can see where this card would fit in into a Duel Links deck, but maybe not a top tier deck. So that's where I'm coming from with that. Then we have Obsessive Uvo Loop. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it seems right. It's a level 4 Fiend Tuner. Kind of stat line, pretty good defense though, 1800, that's pretty good. If this card is in your hand, you can target 1 single monster you control in your graveyard, banish, and if you do, special this card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 single monster you control in your graveyard, banish it if you do, add this card to your hand. So in a single based deck, it does help to recur itself very nicely. Now, the problem in Duel Links again is our limited extra deck space, which I think makes this card quite fair because there's only a limited amount of times you can go into your synchros, so it's not a continuous card. That kind of makes sense for its loop name. It might be pretty good in Duel Links. I don't know what decks would really use a Fiend level 4 tuner, but level 4 tuner in general is actually very, very good. So in that sense, it could see play, but apart from that, I don't know. Then we have Ghost Trick Fairy. We haven't seen Ghost Tricks in about 2 or 3 years now, so it would be 2 years, wouldn't it? In about 2 years, which is, we should see some more of them soon. Obviously, they do have a bunch of Exceeds cards, so maybe when Exex will come to Duel Links, that's when we'll get the next wave of Ghost Tricks, maybe that's when they'll come. But Ghost Trick Fairy combos well with the field spells, which aren't in Duel Links right now, so maybe you'll have to wait for that. But those field spells let you attack directly, so this card works pretty well with that. So it can't be summoned unless you control a Ghost Trick monster. Once per turn, you can change this card to face on defense mode. When it's flipped face up, you target 1 Ghost Trick card in your graveyard, then set it face down. Then you can change face up monster your opponent controls to face down defense mode up to the number of set cards you control, and then the field spells work in that the amount of monster your opponent has face down, you can then attack that many times I think it is, so you can see where this card does work with the Ghost Trick deck, but again in Duel Links 3 zones might be too limiting for Ghost Trick Fairy to even make a difference in the game, so honestly, I'd like to see it, but until we get the field spells, till we get more Succeed support, then I think Ghost Trick Fairy might need to stay away from Duel Links for a while, just because she wouldn't be that good in the game right now. Not because she's too powerful or anything. Then finally we have Jacko Bolan, which is a card I looked at initially and I thought, you know what, this might be a fun card to have in Duel Links, but then I realised that it's a fire zombie that lets you special monsters and then they banish themselves in the graveyard afterwards. This card would be kind of insane in Shiranui. They're already really good, they're tier 2 in Duel Links right now. This card would make them even better, so honestly I think maybe we shouldn't put this in Duel Links, you know? Kind of, no, we're just not going to do that. Anyway, that's going to be done for today's Duel Links video, guys. Did enjoy. I do apologise for my voice in this one, I can feel it going. I just recorded 3 videos prior to this, so I think maybe I should have taken a break, but you know what, I've got to keep that content grind going. Anyway, Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below of the new Ignition Assault set, and if you know any cards in that set that could come to Duel Links, let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.